Competency-based interview questions for your job interview. In this video, I'm going to share 4 of the best answers to tricky competency-based interview questions that are asked in almost every job interview. So if you're looking for a new job or your next career opportunity, then keep watching, because by the end of this video, you'll know not only how to answer those questions, but how you can adapt them for your own interview. Hi, I'm Amri Celeste, an HR recruitment officer and an interview coach with over 9 years hiring experience, and every week I'm going to help you on your job hunting journey with all the advice you need to help you get a job you actually want. So if you're on the job search, subscribe and tap the bell so you'll be the first to know when I post a new video each week. Now, in order to ensure that you can answer any competency-based interview question, you need to have a clear understanding of what a competency-based interview question is and what the interviewer is trying to find out by asking them. And there are a lot of different types of interview questions. Competency-based interview questions measure your knowledge, skills, and attitude or ability to do the job you're interviewing for. So things like relevant experience you've gained so far in your career, your role-specific skills like systems or specific project experience, your behaviours like, for example, how you might handle conflict or your work ethic. The first example question is, give me an example of a time when you solved a problem. So I've picked a customer service job at random so that I can demonstrate a good answer for you. So an example answer to this might be, while working in my previous role as a customer service rep, I came across a customer who was very upset as he had been chasing a refund and had been passed around to different teams multiple times before he had a chance to explain the background of his situation. To solve this problem, the first thing I did is listen to his query in full. It was a long issue that was not his fault, and by listening carefully and showing empathy, this not only calmed him down, but I identified that his payment details had changed since he originally made his purchase. I identified this by going step by step through the process to see where it fell down. I was able to go directly to the right team who processed his refund that day and sent a confirmation email so he had peace of mind. Now, in order to use an answer like this in your interview, you need to understand why this is a strong answer and why it ticks every box. So first of all, you've given an example, and when you do this, it's so much easier for the interviewer to imagine you in that situation. So a situational answer is the strongest type of answer that you can give, as opposed to a hypothetical answer. So also what you've done with this answer is you've shown that you've taken a different approach from other colleagues, because you've said that he was passed around to lots of different teams and it was quite a long query. So regardless of this, you've taken the time to listen and understand and empathize. So you've shown patience and understanding here. Also, by utilizing your listening skills, you were able to identify the problem and you took an analytical approach to solve the problem. So you broke down the process step by step to see exactly where it went wrong. Before you ended the call, you made sure that the customer had peace of mind. So not only by making sure that his refund was processed, but also making sure that he got a confirmation email so he wouldn't need to call back because he has something in writing. But also you are showing the interviewer how you resolve this query to completion. Now, on its own, this is a very strong answer, but it also ticks a recruitment box that a lot of interviewers look for, and that is the STAR method. So in this answer, you've shown the situation, the task, the action, and the result. It's a very strong framework to use to answer any interview question. However, of course, it doesn't always apply. So if you're asked, for example, what do you know about our company? You don't need to try to shoehorn your answer into the STAR method, but it is a very useful framework to use to answer interview questions. So the key to this answer is that it's a structured example that shows your behavior, your personality, your skills, and also how you go about finding solutions. So the next question is, can you give me an example of a difficult situation and how you handled it? The best example I can think of is when I had a member of my team who was underperforming on a consistent basis. I had a conversation with the team member to see how we could resolve this. So we agreed on a performance plan that included some retraining exercises, and I also discovered through that conversation that there were some underlying personal issues at home. So I was able to work closely with this team member and give them the space and the time that they needed to bring their performance back up to speed, as they were a high-performing team member, and I knew that while the temporary underperformance was challenging to manage, with a bit of patience and closer supervision in the short term, I could likely resolve the issue. So with this answer, you're showing a collaborative approach. So you've shown that your first step was to have a conversation with that team member, and through that approach, you gained a wider knowledge of the whole situation. So you also show concern for your team member and a commitment to restoring their performance, but also securing strong results for the company. And again, you've shown how you resolved the situation. Did you find those first two answers helpful? If you did, you'll be pleased to know that I'm giving away 20 example answers. So I created them myself from scratch, and it includes the answers in this video so that you can refer back to them. So click the link below this video to download them totally free. Question 3 is, how would you describe your work ethic? A strong answer to this would be, I would describe my work ethic as very strong. I believe that if you've chosen to work in a role, then it should be something that you're passionate about and intend to give your best to. I believe that when you care about what you do and the quality of your work, it's easy to be motivated to have a strong work ethic. So for example, over the past year, I've had 100% attendance at work, and I've met all of my objectives for the past 2 quarters, and I'm on track to meet my remaining goals for the rest of this year. Now, it might seem a bit cliche to outright say, my work ethic is strong. It seems a bit obvious, right? But when you back it up with your beliefs, your values, and an example, it becomes a great response. And the great thing here is you're showing that you're being selective when you talk about choosing to work in a role. It shows the genuine interest that you have in the role that you're interviewing for. So do you have a question about an interview that you have coming up? Let me know in the comments, or even if you've struggled with any of these types of questions before, it would be really interesting to see what's been a challenge for you. So the last question is centered around relationship building, because employers want to know that you'll be able to get along with your colleagues. So question 4 is, what is the key to building a great relationship? An answer to this is, in my experience, communication and listening on a regular basis is the strongest foundation for building a great working relationship, because this allows for check-ins, sharing of ideas, and understanding things from different perspectives, which can be used to adjust your approach for a more collaborative outcome. For example, while working on a recent project with another department, we realized that by adding a simple additional layer to our process, it allowed their team to collect crucial tracking and budgeting information that they needed in a much easier way, which they were grateful for, and this made it easier for us to work together with them in future. The strength in this answer lies in the fact that it starts broad. So once you've said that communication is the key, you can expand on that in so many different ways. Here it's whittled down to a few beneficial aspects of communication, like idea sharing, understanding things from another's point of view, collaboration, etc. And then you move straight into a solid example where you explain the solution from the beginning, where you added another layer to the process to solve a challenge that was being experienced by another team. If you struggle with really difficult interview questions, you'll want to tune in next week, because I'm going to cover a really difficult interview question that's quite frankly a bit cruel, but interviewers ask it, so you'll need to know how to answer it if you're interviewing at the moment. So thank you so much for watching. Please tap like if you got value from this video, and I'll see you next week.